Yeah, ever since my mum squirted cream in my face, I can't stand trifle. Typical, isn't it? You're having a lovely afternoon filming your shed door, and someone has to go and get the pogo stick out. Competitive mum here is 2 goals down. It doesn't matter if he is your son. Do whatever it takes.
Oi, oi, Scott.
You thought you could beat me?
How you doing, mate?
Stuck on the bench.
Just thought I'd start up a live chat. Hello, Deadly. It is completely out of the blue, mate. I just thought, with everything that's going on, let's all have a chat, eh? No particular agenda, nothing really going on. Just thought, you know, let's start something off. Kids are watching You've Been Framed, so we're live, girls.
Hello. Pom-poms.
Hey, Ray. Looks like everybody's is everybody the same as me, sat at home bored? Deadly, deadly, no problem, mate. No problem at all. It wasn't just you that had asked for it. A lot of people had asked for that. So, yeah, I thought. What is it? What is that? Oh, it's just one of the pom poms. Yeah, no problem. That's what is going on You've Been Framed? Scott, you said could be better, mate. What's up? No work for me. No, I work from home during the day. At the moment. How about you, Ray? What do we all? I mean, you know, I'm not one for politics really, but it's a big thing at the moment. What do we all think of today's announcements? Today's additional announcements. Why I'm looking up there when I've got it on the screen here, I don't know.
Daddy.
But yeah, just completely out of the blue live chat. Oh dear Lord. Come in and out as needed. If you see somebody else go live and we want to go invade their live chat, let me know and we'll do that.
Teddy's on camera. The teddy was on camera.
Work. Oh right, okay.
Dance and baby.
I don't listen to it. Well, no, but at the moment the announcements are kind of very relevant, so give it a bit of attention, I think. What do you do, Ray? So it's completely impromptu chat, so London. Who was it? Was it Sean? I think it was Sean from Sean James Cameron. He said that. I think it was Sean that said that they were locking the gates on some plots. And it's not happened round here, but is it something you've heard? Is it something you've heard of, Ray? I'm not sure what having the TV on in the background will do for copywriting. Turn it down a bit, will you?
What happens next? Answers on the way.
You're right, Deadly, it is. I'm not too sure how right it was. Well, you don't have to put it on silent. Just,
I didn't put it on silent.
or you just... Ah, right, yeah, that might work. I might not get copyright struck for that. Well, that's where Sean is, and no, he's down London way somewhere, isn't he? But it is stupid. You're right. It is stupid. And I think it was a knee-jerk reaction. It's probably been undone now. You never know. He might jump in again tonight. He sometimes jumps in my streams, or he's been in a couple of them.
Daddy,
Right, okay, girls. Don't mind you joining in and being silly, but I need to be able to kind of concentrate. See, I don't know. I'll be going to mine tomorrow. I had a bit of a find whilst on a dog walk this morning. Was it you? No, it wasn't you, was it, Ray? It was Terry, I think. We found a load of weed growers leftovers, and I've found 10 bags this morning while walking the dog. So I've got a boot full of black bags of compost to sift through tomorrow. So I don't expect many people will appear, because I say it's completely out of the blue. You're right, Deadly. You're right. We don't know how long this is going to last. That's my concern. And I was on. What was it? Whose live was it the other day? I think were you on it as well, Ray? The other morning. Another ginger with a beard. Can't remember his channel name. Give me a sec. I'll find it. Grow Your Own Life. He said, didn't he? We actually don't know whether it needs to be. Oh, the camera's fallen over. We need something a bit better to prop the camera up with. That was a nice view of my ceiling for you, wasn't it? Hang on, give me a sec. What, the clay pebbles? That's a good find. That is a good find. Also, down where I found my compost, there's a load of really good quality sand as well that's just been dumped. It's been there for a while, so I'm going to find some of that. I'm going to bag some of that up. It's been there for ages. Bit of scrapland. I might go down there one time on a video actually and just show you, see what people think. Someone fly tip to live. Ooh, that's really handy. Do they not realise how much money they've thrown away there? So anyway, yeah, what I was saying, we was on Grow Your Own Life stream 2 days ago, and he was saying how we need to be worried about our allotments. Do we think that this could go on that long, that fresh goods will become a commodity and allotments be at risk? I think he had a point. I think just turn notifications off as well. So this was completely impromptu. There we go. I think he had a yeah. He had a point. I think we might need to be concerned, especially those of us that have got chickens on the plot. There's nothing we can do about it, I suppose. Especially if they turn around and say, we're not allowed out. I was speaking to a friend of mine. Once again, Ray, you might be able to... Oh, no, you won't. No, where did he say it was? Speaking to... I had Marcus over the other day, the guy that helped me put the shed up. He was here yesterday, in fact. And he was telling me that his mate's out Birmingham way. The National Guard has been deployed. out Birmingham way. We don't know why. There's no curfew in force, but
It puts on fire.
and
It puts on fire.
we were speculating either a curfew or were they just being deployed to help stop things like looting, because that's the next eventuality, isn't it, really? I think you're right, Dudley. I think eventually, at least within Europe, the borders will shut, and most of our produce comes from the sort of Spain direction, and Spain is one of the hardest hit at the moment. So I think we do need to be concerned for salads and like you said, quick crops. I wasn't going to be sowing a load of lettuces and things like that, but I do think I am going to. I think I'm going to do some extra trays of greens and salads. I'm certainly going to be putting in my excess peas for some pea shoots, for things like that. But yeah, are you just laughing at yourself? Are you just laughing at yourself there? All I can hear is just her chuntering away in the corner.
I can't just pull this pants down. There.
But let's sort of lighten the mood a little bit. We what was it? That was it. The weather looks like it might be halfway decent this weekend. So are we all going to be getting out and getting planting? I know, Deadly, you're an at-home grower, aren't you? Are we going to be getting out and getting planting? Those of us with plots, are we going to be getting down as plots, do you reckon? My intention is I'm going to be there sort of bright and early. I might even borrow the missus's phone and do a live chat again tomorrow. The only reason I've really gone live tonight is it's something I'm going to try and... It's something I'm going to try and keep going with. Because I think at this time, with everything that's going on, we need that community spirit. We need, and whilst we can't be there physically for each other, I think just things like this, even if it's 20 minutes, half an hour, I think it's a big boost for people to see people and be able to interact with them live. Hi Rachel, how you doing? How you doing? Scott, hey, I have my theory is man-made, but accidentally released. I don't think it was released intentionally, but I think the virus was man-made, and I do think it was made for this purpose, which is a simulation as to viral spread. But I don't think it was actually released intentionally. You're at home this weekend, are you, Ray? What do you do at home? Is your home garden more flowers and things like that? It'd be an interesting video. Once again, just to regular live skirts would be good. I do like a live skirt, Ray. Skits. Yeah, so we're just here to have a laugh, guys. We'll do a bit of garden chat, a bit of politics, whatever you guys want to talk about. We're easy. The loud one's going to bed shortly, so apologies. For those of you that don't know, Charlotte and Rosa. Charlotte's 10, Rosa is 6, 7.
Seven.
Sorry,
I'm turning 11
I'm
this
terrible.
year.
She's 11 this year. She'll be 8 next year. That phone's going to fall over again.
Because of my laughing?
No, not because you're laughing, sweetheart. Charlie, will you go in camera bag and get the tripod out?
Okay.
I think I think at the moment, I think as much content as we can put out is good. Is good. I mean, obviously, we don't want to dilute ourselves with
Daddy.
crap, pointless content. But I think as much relevant, channel relevant content as we can put out to help keep people entertained and things like that, I think is very, very important.
Got it. Sorry.
It's all right. The wife wanted to take garden. Yeah, I need to clean my car, but I'm not going to do that tomorrow. Since I'm not going to do that until I've emptied out the 10 bags of compost. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just going to move you onto the tripod because.
No more asking questions. Yeah. Or I'll call you Axel Cat.
Rosa.
Don't put your rude talk on a live chat.
She knows better than to talk like that anyway. We don't have talk like that, do we?
Nope.
Sorry, guys. One sec. I'm doing the best. Just bear with me a minute.
Someone's happy birthday present.
Who's the bear? I don't know. What's the bear's name?
I don't know. Teddy.
Oh. She's inventive, that one, isn't she? The bear's name is Teddy.
My name is Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog because I go really fast. What are these?
Will you put them in the bin for me?
All that.
Yeah, I don't need it. After Marshall's debacles this year, I shan't be using them again.
That's how you
I should be staying local. Oh, that's close. That's very close.
What is?
Let me back up a little bit. There we go. Phone shouldn't fall over again. Not right. Stop shouting right in my ear, please. So what we got? I don't know. I've no figures. 4 at the moment.
I'll never do something.
Righty. It's time for you to get ready for bed. Please. Thank you.
Dead.
So anyway, guys, sorry. What are we, Ray's plans were? What were Ray's plans? Ray's plans was his home garden. He's gonna have a tidy. Not a bad idea. Deadly, what were your plans? You're thinking about what you can do. Deadly, am I right in remembering you grow at home primarily? Is there that much of a delay on this live chat? Let me just see if that's still... That's the wrong light. Is that still okay, or is that too dark, guys? Let me know. Because that was really bright in my face. Really bright in my face.
Really bad, your
Face.
face.
Oh, that was it. Quick crops in tubs. So, let's come up with some ideas for quick crops in tubs. Pea shoots. Kale as a microgreen. That should be quite quick. Beetroot tops. Or perpetual spinach. What else is quite quick? Are you thinking as quick sort of microgreen speed, or are you thinking 5 or 6 weeks? Because some lettuces you can have fully grown in 5 or 6 weeks. But yeah, spinaches. I might get some spinach. I don't know if I've got some spinach seed.
I know I love spinach.
I know you do. We were going to do a spinach bed, weren't we? Yeah, radish is quick. Yeah, you're right there, Rachel. What's radish? About 6 to 8 weeks, I reckon, isn't it? Month from germination. So you germinate them somewhere warm, and you should have radish. Not big radish, but you'll have salad-worthy radish in a matter of a couple of weeks. What, a matter of 5 or 6 weeks. At this rate, it'll be before you'll have radish before the kids go back to school. Cut and come again. Yeah, so yeah, you're focusing on lettuces, perpetual spinaches. What did I see? Was it your video, Ray, with the climbing? No, it wasn't Ray's video. Was it Ray's? I watch that many of you guys that I forgive me if I get videos muddled up, but I must watch at least 4 or 5 different ones a day. Somebody did a climbing perpetual spinach. I'm sure it was a UK YouTuber. And the idea of that really intrigues me. I think that might be a reason to build another one like my P-frame. That sounded really good. I can't remember who it was now. Oh, it's left me, whoever it was. Yeah, it's left me. Was it? It wasn't Tony, was it? Tony C. Smith. I haven't watched his video today, actually. I need to watch his video. I do enjoy his videos. I do enjoy his videos. So has anybody done any sowing? Has anybody done anything early? Here's one. Do we reckon spring started? Do you reckon? Or do you reckon we're having a false early spring for the 2nd or 3rd time? I've been shopping daily, just little bits and pieces. But I tell you what, round here in Scunthorpe, people haven't gone that mental. Yes, there are certain things like loo roll pasta and bread and things that are hard to get hold of. Well, yeah, yes, they are hard to get hold of. But fortunately, I'm one of those guys that we stock up on that at the start of every month. So we're all right for at least a couple of weeks. But yeah, no, shopping has not really been that much of a problem for us. Might prove a problem next week because I need to go do the meat shopping next week. So I don't know, and I need to message my chicken food supplier, see if he's still open, because I don't know. But with regards to human and dog, we're okay. Sasha's on raw food diet, so she has usually somewhere between the realm of 10 and 20 kilos of meat in the freezer. And we bulk buy everything else, and everything as much as possible is fresh cooked in our household. So we've not struggled for shopping. There really does seem to be a massive delay. That you guys ain't answering my questions. It says I've got excellent connection. Beep 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 beep. It should be. My internet's pretty good. What does that button do? You can create a video whilst publicly streaming a live video. That screams of effort, that does. What's everybody up to now? Is everybody just sat at home chilling, or anybody had anything interesting for dinner? What did we have? We had my special chicken and chorizo pasta tonight.
My favourite.
Yeah, went down quite well.
I demolished it.
You did demolish it.
I didn't even notice. And then.
Sorry to hear that, Deadly. I'm assuming. Well, I'm not going to make any assumptions.
My You're
But,
blessed right now.
the one thing actually just reminded me, one thing I need to do. I actually, before this kind of started, I managed to book a delivery slot with Sainsbury's for next week. So I need to update my shopping on that. I mean, I'm expecting half of it not to turn up, but pizza soup? Pizza soup? What's pizza soup?
Pizza
Sounds interesting.
It's pizza in the soup.
Well, yeah, that's what I would guess. But is it tomato soup with pepperoni and cheesy top? Have I nailed it? I'm just trying to think. Deadly, have you tried? Is it Tesco's or Asda's or Iceland? I'm not really narrowing it down for you here, but 3 days a week they're opening just for people. I'm going to use the term with special requirements. So the elderly, the people with disabilities, things like that. They're opening specially so that for an hour before regular trading. Awesome, I nailed it apparently. Sounds nice. To beat the crowd, well, not to beat the crowds, but so that you can shop in a more secure, less anxiety-provoking environment. Because it's the same myself, I suffer with anxiety, and yeah, I struggle to go shopping. That's what generally we do most of it online. And I use butchers for the meat. The butcher is very understanding. He knows my requirements. He tends to not jump me up the queue, but if I stand out of the way, once he sees me, he clocks sort of when I arrive or when he sees me, and he'll get to me in my proper sort of place, if you know what I mean. Sweet corn, mushrooms. That sounds like a very complicated soup. Very complicated soup. No, I do appreciate that, Deadly, I do. But yeah. Why don't you come up for a visit, eh? Come and isolate yourself with it. That sounds really weird. Come for an holiday up north, eh? Come and isolate yourself up north. I shouldn't laugh. Did anybody see about Duffy's return and why she's been away? That was a shock. You remember the Welsh singer did Warwick Avenue? Yeah, that was a shock. Why she just disappeared like that, didn't she? That was yeah, she was kidnapped and I don't want to use the R word, but she was kidnapped and sexually assaulted. She said she won't talk about it beyond that, but that's why she disappeared. Well, that was
Weird.
yeah, that was shocking, really. Because I do remember, because it was back in the time I was DJing in my own pubs, and she was always a popular choice with the Soul and Motown crew. And all of a sudden, she just disappeared. And I assumed it was another one of those sort of child star stories where things got too much and they decided to take a step back, but apparently it wasn't. That was a little weird. Kind of feels weird doing these live streams and not having a tray of seedlings in front of me. I might have to go grab a tray of seedlings just to feel at home. Although I mean, I'm not classed really as being up north. Well, I am classed as being up north, but Scunthorpe is closer to the Midlands. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I've been using the same butcher for 3 years now, so I would expect to sort of, just to go back to what we were saying, a level of. Although if it's, yeah, like I say, if I didn't get a level of service, then I probably wouldn't use the butchers as prolifically as I do, but I would hope when he gets sort of, I mean, what does he get off me? About £150. It's not masses, but regularly every month. How's my peppers? What, my chili peppers? I don't know if you can see them. They're all back there up window. Move my fat ass out that way. They're all, I'd say, I don't know if you can see them, but they're all back there on windowsill. There's some upstairs on the
my bedroom.
In Charlotte's bedroom. But they're doing okay. They look to have survived. Did I post about it? I put off going in the grow tent for the best part of a week. Went in the grow tent one day and the peppers were just covered in powdery mildew. Hiya Brian, you alright? So it was a mad rush to get me copper solution, get them all washed down, and touch wood, they seem to have survived it. So they seem to be doing okay. I've topped the really tall ones, like I say, I don't know if you can see them. The really tall ones I've topped, they were the KNs, and they were rocketing away. So I've taken the growing tops out of them to sort of slow them down a little bit. But everything else is little squat, the super hots are all little squat plants, so they're doing really well. The tomatoes, the tomato experiment, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to grab them because there's enough of yous here to understand what I'm talking about. Give me a sec. Let's turn the big light on, eh? I'm showing me Yorkshire there. Put big light on. Was it, Rachel, was it you that was doing, was it you that was doing a pineapple? Was it you that was doing a pineapple, Rachel? Let me know if that's doing your head in, guys, and I'll turn off the big light again. But if you watched Sunday's video, you'll have seen me putting these up. These are the vermiculite versus compost tomatoes. And they're rocketing off through the bottom. So you see this one, it's got the usual sort of tomato leaves that I would expect. Now, like I said, these are all from the same seed packet, and the reason I bring it up is because I've seen in other Facebook groups people saying about this variety of tomato. And then, like I said, from the same sowing, same packets of seeds. Look at that. Now, if I were looking at that and asked to identify it, I'd say, apart from the hairs on the stem, I'd say that's a bell pepper or a cucumber. But I sowed that seed. I know for a fact that a tomato seed went in that pot. Well, not in that pot, but in the one before it. And I would say that looks more like just pure nightshade. No, not nightshade. Yeah, nightshade. Which I need to be wary of if it is. But I say it's no, you're right. It doesn't look like a tomato. But I've seen on Facebook groups a lot of people saying about this variety, this moneymaker variety, that this year they're getting a lot of plants like that don't look like tomatoes. So keep your eyes peeled for that one, guys, because I know my seeds, I know they came from a good source, and it's come from a source of the grow seed where they're not buying in seeds, it's their own seeds. But some of the posts I've seen, they're from Sutton's, they're from Thompson and Morgan's, you know, local garden centre brands. So it's just maybe it's just something with the strain. But yeah, that's moneymaker. Just for you, Deadly, this is one of the chocolate habaneros. Oh, look at the size of them leaves on that. And that's at the side of my head. And that's at the side of a paintbrush. Zabroons. No, I haven't. No, from set or from seed, Deadly. I struggled to get my ambition shallots to go, but once they've set off, they've gone quite well. Oh, I'm not going to bring the pineapple over. It's still drinking. I'll just pick that up and bring it over here in case somebody joins later on. What's that with, Rachel? Was that with what Deadly said about Zabroon shallots? Is that, like I say, is that from seed or from set? What are they struggling with? Germination or growing on? Are they keeling over? I think Zabroon are not an early sowing one though, are they? They're a normal season, so really they're kind of. Is Zabroon one that grow through summer and you harvest in autumn? I think there might be, especially if you do them from seed. Zabroon shallot seed. Let me double check. I think they might be. They are. And they're a late planting. So really they should have only been putting them in now. And they're not harvested until September, October. Probably a heat thing then, Deadly, because if they're only to be sown now, outside is still pretty cold, so if they're direct sowing, then I can understand people having an issue. If they're sowing them inside, maybe it's just a heat thing. Check a couple of sources. I see. See, Sutton says sow them January, February, March. But DT Brown says March, April. What about Rare Seeds? Wow. Rare Seeds have shut down. Where have we got? Premier. Let's have a look at Premier. I bet a lot of people have bought from Premier. I haven't watched Muddy Boots. Is that in today's video from Buddy Boots Deadly? I've not watched it. Not watched his video today. But if you brought from Premier, which I know are very popular, there doesn't appear to be, at least on their website, best sown outdoors late March to April. So if people have put them in prematurely, although I know Muddy Boots and Tony both use heated propagators. You beat me to it there, Deadly. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. Maybe they don't like high humidity. Maybe the seeds have rotted. Maybe. I've never started any of my onion seeds off in a humid environment, in a lidded propagator. They've always been in a heated tent with airflow. So I'm wondering if the Vitapods are too moist. Oh bloody hell, Brian! These problems we normally get. Problems. Yeah, like I said, Brian, it could be a variety of Zebrune within the Zebrune, but Sutton say that theirs can be sown in January, but Premier, DT Brown, what else have I checked? I'll tell you in a sec. Premier, DT Brown, Marshalls and King's Seed all say to sow them in March.
Dad.
Let's see. Dobbies say January, February. Yes.
That's why I watch Netflix, because you've been saying on the other channel that we watch.
There's one that you've already seen. Yeah, sure. So that's peculiar. That is peculiar. Maybe it's a humidity thing. Maybe it's been too moist.
Dad, why's your kind of chicken?
Because I changed it to a chicken. Maybe it's yeah. I think based on what we've just said and what Brian said, if he did no heat, no problems, chances are it's a humidity thing. Especially with them both using Vitapod. I mean, those Vitapods are amazing, but you don't throw everything in them. To those Vitapods, I want one of them Vitapods, but can't warrant 400 quid on a propagator. I mean, that's like the cost of a polytunnel, a half decent polytunnel at that. I know what I'd rather buy. But to overwinter, Tony's been splashing cash a bit, hasn't he? That is a point as well. Brian, what brand of compost do you primarily use? Just out of interest, before I say anything on that matter. No, I agree, Dudley, you don't need all that. I'm assuming you're referring to sort of the Vitapods and the polytunnel. You don't need it. It makes life a damn sight easier, but you don't need it. And I'm all for making life easier. The reason I want a Vitapod is for the chilies. It's just a nice, really nice little contained environment. It just makes life so much easier when it comes to chilies. So the money that I make from the sales of the super hot plants and peppers when the season's over. All right, let me rephrase that, Brian. Do you have a preferred brand? And up until I did the tomato experiment, I rated vermiculite extremely highly until I did that experiment. And the results, whilst, you know, I got plants from both, at least in the case of tomatoes, and I mean, Moneymaker is an old prolific brand, a variety, it's not a, you know, it's nothing new, it's nothing special. Clover, yes, well, Clover is known to be a good consistent brand. Same as the one I prefer, which is Jack's Magic. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, I'm still using the vermiculite. I am still using the vermiculite, even after what I discovered with the tomatoes. But the plants, at least in the case of those tomatoes, were a lot weaker and had a lot smaller root system than the ones that had no vermiculite. And the ones that had no vermiculite germinated quicker. Like I say, I'm going to revisit this experiment next year. I will continue to use vermiculite because I rate the problem. Oh, it's not up by us, Deadly. It's Up north it's sunny and dry, and has been for the night times are wet, but the daytimes are
Nice and sunny.
nice and sunny and dry. Jack's Magic does hold on to water for a long time, which I like for the chili peppers. It means that for the likes of my chili peppers, and Deadly will know how this relates to other composts. For my chilies, they take in the gravel trays. There's 6 pots. Is there 6 in the gravel trays? Yeah, of the large 15cm pots, there is 6. It takes half a litre of water every 2 weeks to water all 6 of those chili plants. That's why I like the Jack's Magic. It seems to be ideal for them. Have you started to fill? Is this a fill?
Yeah, this is a film.
What is it?
Next gen.
Yes. Because you'll be going to bed in about half an hour to an hour, alright? Because I'm not going to be late to bed.
Okay.
Because I feel lousy and I don't want to spend another day at home tomorrow. I'm going to plot tomorrow. Like I said, at the stage they're at, Deadly, once every 2 weeks. But in the height of summer, depends really whether they're in pots or whether they're in the soil. If they're in the soil, in the polytunnel roughly once a week, and not that heavily. If they're in pots in a greenhouse, every 3 to 4 days is my chili watering regime. And I do put a lot of it down to the quality of the compost. Fertilizers, I do use them once the chilies go into their final pots, because generally they get potted up once every 6 to 8 weeks until they reach their final pots. Of course, while ever they're going in fresh compost, there's no need to fertilize them. But through summer, I fertilize with liquid seaweed, but that's it, and I do that. If I'm the ones that I'm watering weekly, they get liquid seaweed. They get liquid seaweed once every 2 weeks. The ones that are watered every 3 to 4 days, or 2 to 4 days, they get liquid seaweed once every week, week and a half, depending on whether I remember. And it's done to half strength as well. So I use Doff, as long-time subscribers will know, and I use that at half strength for the chilies to stop calcium lock in the soil. And at least in the case of chilies, I had no issue with blossom end rot. They are susceptible to it, the same as tomatoes. Obviously, they are related, but I had no problems with that. The only issue I did have actually was with the jalapenos, because it turns out those were actually being underwatered. They were in the back corner and weren't getting enough water. But once I jiggled things around and they started getting a bit more water, then they perked right up and they shot out loads. But I did find that the jalapenos I got, actually from the jalapeno that I've overwintered, there was zero heat to them, absolutely zero heat to them. I went on chili forums and they said let them dry out and things like that. You know, let the plant dry, because apparently with chilies, the harsher treated the plant, so the less water it gets, the hotter the final chili will be. But it had zero effect. It made my padrons quite hot, I will say that. It did certainly make my padrons quite hot, but nothing I tried could get those jalapenos to have any heat. But the reason I've specifically overwintered one is, although they had no heat, they tasted lovely. And it meant that the kids could have that jalapeno flavour in a salsa without the heat. But like I said, when I say they had no heat, they were zero heat at all. It wasn't just that I'm I couldn't taste the heat because I'm quite good with heat. It was there. They had no heat. If you watch one of the videos from the back end of last summer, we do as a bit of a thing on the end. Me and the missus eat a sugar rush peach, and the kids eat a slice of jalapeno each. The missus didn't know at that point that the jalapenos had no heat, and we got mum with that one, didn't we? When we did the chili challenge, we got mum with that, didn't we? With the chili challenge, she didn't know that the jalapenos had no heat.
Well, the one I had did.
Yeah, you reckon it did? I ate it. I ate the rest of it. But yeah. The bag says enough, Steve. Brian, as I've already said, I rate fertiliser as enough feed for 6 weeks. But I completely agree. I think what you could say is it's got enough fertiliser for 3 months. If none of it washed out, I think is what you could say. But as obviously as we know, it does. So, but yeah, every six to 8 weeks they get potted up. So until they're in the final pots, and then even then they get 6 to 8 weeks before they get any food. So let them establish. Aaron, the picket fences guy, is it picket fences? Privet hedges guy. He disagrees with me. He says because I use seaweed, I should use it quite soon because seaweed actually aids the development of roots. But I had no problem with root development last year. What is everybody's thoughts? And I'm interested to hear yours, Deadly, if you've used it, on mycorrhizal fungi on things like, obviously I see Dean use it a lot on his show veg, on his onions and things like, and his leeks. But what about on things like chilies, like tomatoes? Has anybody experimented using it on those sorts of plants? And does it have a worthwhile effect? Because it's not a cheap product. But it is something that I toyed with experimenting with this weekend. Yeah, see, I say last year seaweed extract was all I used, and I've never looked back. And I will endeavour to do the same again this year. I want to do my own this year, so if the weather permits during this lockdown period, the beaches should be nice and quiet. Me and the kids might go and take the dog and go for a walk down Grimsby Beach and or Cleethorpes Beach and try and grab some. But obviously you have to collect seaweed responsibly, which is actually something we've discussed before. Because what I'd like to do actually, because I'm hoping for all my watering to be done from an IBC this year, from collected water as much as possible. So I'm hoping, what I'm actually thinking of doing is getting some seaweed, getting some ties, tying it up, and Rachel, as I've said in a video, I don't really do no dig. I'm just sort of experimenting with it, so I'll take your word for it on that. But I see from the method that what you said makes perfect sense. From how it's sort of lasagnaed up, it does make perfect sense. What was I saying? Yes, so I'm hoping actually for my IBC to sort of hang a tea bag of seaweed in it permanently all year round, but you know, keep it to a low percentage. The only thing it doesn't, because of the cost, I'd rather get planted up. Is that, are you on about for the mycorrhizal there, Brian? It doesn't work on brassica. That makes sense. Well, actually, because it aids root development, so in theory it could help stave off clubroot. In theory. but obviously I don't know in practice. But it would be interesting to find out. It would be interesting to find out. Yeah, thinking about it, yeah, it would make sense to be good for Brassica, but obviously what makes sense to be good for things doesn't always relate. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on that, Brian. The cost of it seems really expensive unless you're growing for show and things like that. It really does. You know me, I just like to spitball ideas and come up with experiments. So I might try it next year. I think the easiest thing naturally is to ask Dean. He uses it quite a lot. He must go through kilos of the stuff a year. What, now? As in just now, Deadly? What have you? Because I've never had any messages come through on Twitter. If you meaning me. I'm going to try and pick up some horticultural lime this year, Brian. Like I say, I'm having a big focus on Brassica, so I think although my soil pH is around about 7.5, so I don't know if I'll need it. But I'm going to pick some up, because anything you can do to help stave off the beginnings of club roots. Blue Moon 01. I've not got any messages on Twitter, Deadly, if you're talking to me. At least I don't think I have. No, I've not got any messages. I don't even think I've got you on Twitter. People. Blue Moon 01, some Chinese things. Ian Blue Moon 01? Comes up with nothing. You're definitely not Blue Moon 01 unless you've got a load of Chinese text on your profile. Yeah, that's I'm currently signed in on Twitter. You've lost me now, Deadly. I ain't got any videos on Twitter. Alright, Brian, see you in a sec. I've no messages, mate. If you've tried to message me, I've no messages on Twitter.
You could try Facebook.
Yeah, I'm in Facebook as well. Oh yeah, in 5 minutes Gardener's World starts on BBC Two. For those of you that subscribe to the Beeb. I don't subscribe to the Beeb. Blue Moon Rising 01. You can't have spaces, can you? Blue Moon Rising 01. People. I've got, oh, yeah, you are 01 Blue Moon. You are, in fact, I'll put it in the chat. Because yeah, I know it's you because it says you follow me. That's your Twitter handle. Is that you, Rachel? Rachel Turvey? I'm assuming it is. It is. I followed you back. Don't do much on Twitter. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. On YouTube. Come join us for a chat. Help beat the COVID-19 blues. Oh, that wasn't. Enter doesn't post apparently. I need a link for this video. Hang on. Can I get a link for this video? I can. I think I can I? Are you like me, Rachel, and just don't get it? I don't get Twitter, I don't get Instagram. I post pictures on Instagram. But I don't a blur. A blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I just I post pictures and people follow me. That's about it. Welcome back again, Brian. I think there's only us in here. No, there's 4 of us. Got a silent. That could have been me actually. It's probably just going to drop down to 3 again in a minute. Is Allotment Life on Twitter? Are you on Twitter, Brian? Do you do Twitter? Can't find you. Allotment Life is a hashtag. I'm wondering if that's what you're thinking. Is anybody planting the potatoes out soon? The first earlies? I'm fighting the urge to put them in the ground. Oh, Brian's over 100,000 subscribers, aren't he? Have you got access to the community pages and things like that? I need to get over 1,000 subscribers. Those community page things are handy as. They really are. But nobody helps, let alone me. Tear. It's because I'm too much of an ass. I think Dean fell out with me because I started an argument in one of his live streams. But yeah, potatoes, guys. Is anybody putting the potatoes in soon? Or has anybody put them in? I know that a lot of people have put them in the buckets, in the polytunnel, which is what I might do tomorrow with the... Has Ray gone? Ray! Ray! Has Ray gone? Cheers for the retweet, Rachel. What I was going to say anyway, I think Ray's gone, was what I said earlier about finding a cannabis grower's dump of compost. It is compost, it's not the clay pellet coir stuff. Not that I know much about cannabis growing, mind. I'll have a word for me. Why do you know, Dean, do you? I kind of know Dean indirectly. I've had a pint with him. He doesn't remember, but I've had a pint with him in the Blythe time. You're putting yours in tomorrow. What are you putting in, Rachel? Are you putting first earlies in, or are you putting main crop in, or look at that there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, with the compost that I found, I am very tempted to put my first earlies in the cannabis growers compost that I found in the polytunnel. The only drag behind putting buckets in the polytunnel is they dry out so damn quickly. It's because you're a nice guy, Deadly. I'm just not a nice guy, apparently. The argument that I started was somebody argued with me about the sale of diesel and the sale of diesel cars. It was adamant that it wasn't getting banned in 2040. In fact, I think it's been brought forward to 2035. And I didn't argue, really. I was just saying, look, all right, whatever, but it has been announced. And this guy just kept going and going and going. So, and I think Dean blames me for it. I don't know. He just always seems to... be a little unfriendly in the occasions that I do join his live streams. I just don't think the soil's warm enough yet. And with regards to digging the buckets in, I do agree with that method. I think it was it Muddy Boots or Tony that did it last year? But for me, it defeats the object of growing in buckets, because I want to be able to put the buckets somewhere that what have you been trying to tell people, Rachel? I want to be able to put the buckets somewhere sort of out the way. It's like if you've been following where I've taken down the big compost bin and made it sort of a nice little area. That when I'm not sat there is going to be where I'm going to keep my buckets. It's kind of out the way. I can strap the buckets to the fence so that people can't nick the buckets. I suppose they can tip out the contents of the buckets, but hopefully they're kind of not really noticeable that close up against the fence. What were we saying? That's not a bad idea, Deadly. It'd be nice to see a video from you, Brian. And let me know let me know, and I'll be sure to mention it in mine on Sunday if I actually get one on Sunday. I'm stuck for something to cover on the allotment tomorrow. I think I'm definitely gonna dig some potato trenches. Ultimately, whether I use them or not, I don't know. I might go get some more seed potatoes when I've got some money. Actually, do any of the seed potato providers accept PayPal? Does anybody know offhand? I've got some money on PayPal. 2 weeks. Oh yeah, easy 2 weeks. Depends, because the ones I put in the ground, I normally put in a foot deep. It's normally about 6 to 8 weeks before you see a shoot from them. Give me a good seed potatoes. I want some more potato seed. I want some more seed potatoes. Nothing flashy, just a standard variety, but I need someone that accepts PayPal. Seed potatoes. Yeah. I'm probably actually too late. I bet a lot of places have sold out. I've fallen out with Marshalls. Actually, yeah, you've got a point there, Rachel. You've got a point. I just want more main crop. Let's have a look. £4 per pack on Maris Piper. That's not bad. That's not bad. Any of you any experience with a good main crop potato that will grow decent sized potatoes in heavy soil? What are people's thoughts? I've tried Rooster, didn't grow well in heavy soil. I've tried King Edwards, not good in heavy soil. I might try Golden Wonder. Are you asleep? Oh, you sounded like you were asleep. Can you do me a juice, please, sweetheart? I'm really thirsty.
Sorry, Sash.
So I'm going with Desiree. Apparently they're really good in heavy soil. But I just thought I might edge my bets, so I'm having to order some more. The Maris Pipers are currently unavailable. They will be at £4. It's still expensive. It's a shame I need to use...
You can have this.
I can't if you've been drinking out of it, sweetheart. You've got a cold.
No. Completely forgot.
Why don't you put that in the fridge for you to take up at bedtime so it'll be nice and cold? You've all gone quiet, guys.
Very quiet.
So I'm not going to pay £4 per pack for Desiree when I can get them down at the garden centre for £2 a kilo. just thrown Marshall's magazine away. Don't like Sutton's selection. Who else we got? Simply Seed. Never used these guys. Main crop. Let's have a look. What we got for main? Apache. Cara. Ah, these prices are a lot better as well. These. Oh, I'm not surprised everything's out of stock. Picasso. What are people's thoughts on Picasso? Actually, I've got a choice from here. I've got a choice of Setanta or Picasso. Now, Picasso I have used before at home, and they're all right. They're a good mashing potato. Keep that page and see if we can find another. Do you not use Facebook, Deadly? Just to sort of. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that.
I was thinking of just using my small one. I'm using my small Pepsi bottle.
Okay. Is that enough for you on a night time?
Yeah, I don't really drink much.
No, you don't, and you could do to drink more. JBA seed potatoes. This looks like more like a wholesaler. Pentland Javs, I've tried them, they didn't work. King's, just look. They tell you. King's Seeds, right, okay. Do you know if King's accept PayPal? Yeah. So yeah, the idea is not for me for the buckets. Sorry, yeah, we were saying that, weren't we? The idea behind the buckets is not to need to put them in the ground. Is to make the ground available. So in the early stages, they can be in the polytunnel, and then they can go out somewhere, not out the way, but somewhere that's spare space. Like for example, where the path is that I was trying to take out, I've not been able to get it out. That would be a brilliant place for some seed potatoes, actually. That I like that idea. In buckets. Primrose. And they accept PayPal. Let's have a look. First early. No, that sounds like a song, that. First early, yeah. Oh, they're expensive though. £5 per kilo. That's expensive. I think I'll wait, or I'll order some Picassos, because that's a good price from Simply Seed, if they accept PayPal. It's not listed. Let's have a look. I'll contact King's for a seed catalogue then. Or do they do? You said they've got one online. King's Seeds. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Flowers, trees, plugs, sundry special offers. Vegetables. Potatoes, which I think I just missed. Potatoes. Winston's. I've not tried Winston's before. Aaron Pilot. I might just try Swift next year. Wow. Well, no, for 2.5 kilos, £5. Yeah, that's all right, I suppose. Next delivery due. Right. Okay, so I've missed Spunter, missed Pentland Javelin, missed Duke of York. Right, so we've got Carolus, Jemson, which is the second early. Pink Gypsy, they look like a gimmick. Satanta. Pentland Javs, which everybody else seems to do really good with Pentland Javs. And I really struggle with them. Duke of Yorks. Spunter. Carolus. Don't know what Carolus. Carolus look like. What was I just saying from the other one? Picassos. They look a lot like Picassos. All my main crops are in pots now. Too much damage when they grow in bags. Big results but full of holes. Yeah. I mean, especially for yourself, Brian. Planting in pots must be for potatoes must be a bit of a godsend. Oh, sorry, I was really thirsty. Wish I had some mixes. I could hit the rum tonight because I think the missus has got a lift home from work, which reminds me, where's my phone? No, I better have left it in the car. Oh no, where's my phone? Duh. Sometimes. Be surprised how many times in live streams I actually do that. I just don't often mention it. Close. Let me have a look at the... So you say it will tell me. Slightly flour texture, extra flour, suitable for boiling, mashing, very good for roast. Prefers heavy soils. Well said, Deadly. Well said. So it looks like Carolus might be worth a shot.
Oh, have you got heavy soil?
Our soil's very heavy.
Oh.
Need to focus on getting lots of manure this year after the season's over.
Alpaca manure.
I don't know if I can get that in a big enough quantity at any one time because we need to cover the entire dirt area with like that thick.
Oh my god.
Which is a lot of alpaca manure, isn't it?
Yeah. If you don't know already, we use alpaca manure to fertilize our dirt.
Yes, we do. We use it. Yes, we use pretty much exclusively. This last 12 months has been, in fact, yeah, exclusively this last 12 months has been alpaca manure. And yes, Deadly, that is what I did last year. Was I did the St Paddy's Day planting. But I've held off this year with it being... hey, you bet me to it, Rachel. That exactly the same reason. I held off because it was just... the soil was just too wet. So I managed to run a rotavator... Oh, God, I can't speak tonight. I managed to run a rotavator through my soil last week. Just over a week ago. What's buzzing? I'll identify that in a minute. Yeah, I managed to run a rotavator through my soil last week, which lifted it, aired it, and it's dried it out a bit. So I'm thinking of risking it. The weatherman says we've no frosts for another week. If they're going to take 2 to 3 weeks to come up, hopefully by then the risk of frost for me will have passed. My last frost date is late March, early April. But traditional frost dates, as I did mention in Wednesday's video, don't really apply anymore. You just have to watch it year on year because things are changing so much. Got 4 items in my basket now. View basket. I toyed with the idea of putting a clay breaker or dolomite in my soil. I don't buy anything from Wilco's really anyway, apart from seed sale stuff like not weed membrane. like water membrane, pot membrane, things like that. That's things like that I buy. But besides that, I don't really use Wilco's. I don't like their seed selection for the most part. It doesn't have much in that I like to grow. It has the standard stuff, which is fine. And they do expand every year. They do get bigger every year with regards to what they stock. But I don't know. I think it's just the stigmata for me about Wilco's. Please enter a valid postcode. Where is there? Beep, beep, beep. King Seeds don't accept PayPal. I'll get some from the garden centre when I go next week, maybe. No, yeah, next week. I'll get some more next week, and I'll do a second sow in a main crop. I think I am going to put my first main crops in the soil next week because the bucket ones will catch up. What do you think? What do you think? See? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put yeah, I think the potatoes are going in this week. Soil potatoes. Sorry, yes, going back to what have I tried potato wise? Dear me, in the last two years, I did the Rooster selection pack, which was Vivaldi, Rooster, Cara, and Charlotte, I think.
Did you just say my name?
Yes, I did, but I wasn't talking about it. I was talking about potatoes. Okay. Hey, listen, who knows? Who knows at the moment? Will garden centres be open next week? We don't know. I can always drop them a message, and they're only down the road. I've lost my train of thought now. Potato varieties. And then last year we did Purple Majesty. Purple Majesty. We did Charlotte again. Desiree. King Edwards. Did 6 last year. I can't remember what they all were. But they were the main 4. And from those 4, Desiree did the best. So this year, my first earlies, I'm treating Pentland Jabs as a first early because I like them small, and then I've got Desiree as main crop. I don't bother with second earlies and late crop and things like that. Can't do late crop on my site anyway because of blight. You've got me thinking now. I'm going to drop my garden centre a message. Let's have a look at their page. Do they put anything speculating? Oh, they have 17th. Oh, it was 3 days ago. I was there yesterday. So this, yeah, they're just saying that they're taking free delivery for over 70s, self-isolators, and all those who are avoiding leaving their homes. The service will be provided to anybody placing an order over £10 in Scunthorpe and the surrounding villages. I don't need them delivered. In the tubs, what, for the potatoes? Compost. If you can afford to do it, compost. And you can, if you buy a good quality compost, you can use the same compost for 3 sowings. So if, say for example, you did your sort of summer harvest, and then if you wanted to do a Christmas potato, you could then do the following year's summer harvest. But after that, the compost is no good. But all I do every year is a compost, and then I refresh it if I'm recycling. This year I am recycling a lot of compost. So this year I will mix in 6x and alpaca manure and bloodfish and bone to refresh the compost. Yeah, my garden as it stands is showing no signs of going that it will be closed. So hopefully I'll keep a close eye on that. Well, you disagree with it, or you just don't have any? Is this a long film, Squidge?
I went off to film, and I'm gonna carry on with it tomorrow.
Right, so I want you to go get into bed.
Now.
Well, it's 9 o'clock and you're getting over a sickness. So yes, please. Potato fertilizer. I tried. No. You say night to everybody.
Good night, folks.
I tried potato fertilizer, and I don't know. I didn't rate it. I certainly did. It was my first year. I didn't get good results. I want to know why you say no bloodfish and bone, Bedley. Did you just not have any? Sash, what are you getting grumpy for? Eh? What are you grumpy for? Oh wow. Do you want to go out? Just let the dog out back in a sec. Oh. It's been raining. I do like Charlotte. I do like Charlotte potatoes, but I haven't had any success with growing them. International Kidney, I had them last year. They were good. They were really good. But I haven't seen any this year. No, I haven't seen any. Oh no, you might have had some down at the garden centre. I'm trying to shop local this year. I'm trying to support local small business. And my garden centre is very, very reasonably priced. So I'm trying to support them where possible. The only issue I have is their seed selection tends to not be so great. But I was speaking to them a few months ago when he recognised me as Conversation Shed, and he explained to me why, really, because they make nothing on seeds, surprisingly. Apparently the cost price of seeds is quite high versus the retail price, so they don't make a great deal of money on them. They actually surprisingly make more money on plug plants. But I feel like, and I know some of you may fall out with me for this, but I feel like plug plants are a bit of a cheat. Are a bit of a cheat. They're okay if you've missed something or if you're late with something, but I don't know. But once again, I mean, the plug plant prices down at my local garden centre are amazing. I was looking the other day because I took Marcus down because he wanted some gravel trays, and I think it was 3 trays of 12 lettuce plug plants for a tenner. But that still equates to just under £1 of lettuce. Now, a lot of them are double seeded, but even then, you're still talking 50p a lettuce for a plug if you do the plug plant. If you do plug plants, which is for me is no saving at all over what you buy them for in the shops. Yeah, alright, the quality and the taste is different, but for me, if you ain't saving money, you're doing it wrong. For me, being a tight Yorkshireman. I don't know, maybe that's just me. What do you reckon, guys? Should I go live from the plot tomorrow? What do you think? I could, in theory, do an all-day live stream. I won't be able to interact like this because I'll just set you up in a corner and I'll just, pardon me, I'll just go about my day. What do you reckon? Should I do an all-day live stream tomorrow? It means doing some graphics for it and promoting it tonight. I use a lot of chicken manure pellets. I discovered them last year and they are brilliant. I used the 6X last year. They're brilliant. Bought a big kilo, I think it was a big 25 kilo sack. It went on an Amazon flash sale. I think I got a big 20 kilo sack for 25 kilo sack for about £12 I think it was, with free delivery. I'll ask the missus if I can borrow a phone, and if I can, you know, for the proverbial poos and giggles, I'll do an all day live stream of me just pottering around the plot. I might have the girls with me. I won't have the dog, but the chickens will be out. So if I'm not on screen, there might be chickens on the screen. Who knows, eh? But I might do it. We'll see. I think she said, I mean, she's got unlimited data, but I think she said when I did live from the shed for 2.5 hours the other week, I think, oh, does it? I did not know that. Although I suppose the smell it kind of makes sense from the smell. Although I've not had problems with rats going for it. Did have a rat problem in the chicken run, which I've sorted. Touch wood. But I know bloodfish and bone can attract foxes, but foxes can't get on. Well, they can get on my plot, but they don't. That's the other thing I really want. If I can get some money together, I'd really like to get a wildlife camera and set that up down on the allotment. I think that would be really cool. But things like that for me, anything for YouTube or for my hobby is a bit of a luxury. So £40–50 for a wildlife camera, I can't really warrant it. I never saw, actually Tony did a draw for a wildlife camera. I never saw him actually draw the winner. Who knows? No, that didn't happen to me. That's not happened to me, Deadly. They've not gone for the pellets. And they're pretty accessible, actually. I think they spent most of winter just laid on the floor in the polytunnel, so I don't know, maybe that my rat problem wasn't that big then. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I think if the weather's nice and everything like that, I think an all-day live stream from the plot isn't a terrible idea. Borrow the Mister's long charging cable and plug it into the charger, and give it a whirl. I don't see anything wrong with doing that. I won't, like I say, I won't be able to interact with people because I won't be able to see the screen, but can you turn this camera around in stream, mid-stream? Let me just, sorry if this, yes you can. Sorry, that's an incredibly nice view of the wall. Some might say it's better than mine. I don't know, to be honest, Deadly. I don't. It depends what time I get down the allotment. But I'm hoping to get down there for about 9ish, so time to set up. I don't know, if I do it, it'll go live about 10ish, but I need to film. Yeah, you're right, Brian. I think that's a fair way to call it. The thing is, Deadly, if I spend all day doing a live stream, I'm not going to get anything recorded for Sunday's episode. So it's 6 2/3, and it would have been nice if we'd have got a bit busier in here. It would have been nice to be able to ask people as to what would you rather me do. Would people rather have a live stream that they can jump in and out of? I mean, I do have enough cameras to record an episode as well as the live stream, but do you really want to see a live stream of me recording myself for video? I mean, I don't do a great deal of videoing of myself. I generally set a camera up and let it run, but I know, Deadly, I know, but you know, if you do something people don't like, it has a detrimental effect. And as much as I haven't spoken about it, I am one of the guys that suffers with mental health issues. I know you and I feel the same about this particular gentleman, Deadly, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm on a much greater dose of things that he's on. And if I drop 10 subscribers, it does affect me up here. And if you just base things on doing what you want to do, you won't. Well, you will grow, but you won't grow. I would like to grow. I just want to get to that 1,000 mark where you get a lot more tools, a lot more things to be able to work with. And once I hit that, I mean, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to stop advertising on Facebook and I'll just let the channel grow naturally. But it's just getting to that. I do really want to do a live stream tomorrow. I really do. So I think I'm going to do it if I can borrow the missus's phone. A lot depends on whether the kids come with me though, to be fair, because if the kids come with me, it kind of restricts my time down on the plot, because they start to get cold and things like that, because although it's lovely and sunny, it's sharing my channel, it really does. I really do appreciate it. I really do. I mean, you guys, I know you did, Deadly. You saw the effort that I put in through Christmas to share other people's channels, and as much as I didn't do it for anything in return, something would have been nice. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. I spent an entire day of my life doing those videos. So something, I mean, I know some of the big guys came along and said thank you, which was enough for me. But something, you know, something in return would have been nice from some of those guys. It would have been a big help as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think even if it's just for an hour or two, whilst I'm digging or something like that, I'll put it up, and what I'll do is I'll put the live stream, I'll record on the missus's phone, I'll have my phone on me in the live stream, so at least I'll be able to sort of see the chat intermittently. So when I need to have a breather, I'll be able to look at the chat and sort of interact with people. I think that's possibly the best way of doing it. But with all that being said, what I'm going to do, well, with you guys here, I'm just going to move you over to a different screen. Yes, I'm a gamer. Yes, I've got multiple screens. I need to save that page because I was writing a paper today on hydrogen fuel cells. Riveting stuff. That can go away, that can go away, that can go away. If I can just knock up a quick I'm putting, I do want to put a wildlife pond on mine. I really do. Right, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a promo video, not video. My brain really isn't working tonight. A little bit of promo picture for a day, for a live stream from the plot for tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. I do want to do it. I know the missus will let me use her phone, so I am going to do it. It may only be for a couple of hours, but yeah, bugger it. I'm going to do it. I want to do it. So I need something nice for a little backdrop on a little. Now, bashing relevant partners and significant others. Tut tut. Tut tut. Oh, itchy nose. Right. What am I doing? Need some sort of backdrop. Have I got any overview pictures of the plot? Have I got any overview pictures of the allotment? I know I have somewhere. I know I have. It's just finding them. Cleared my phone off the other day. That was a silly thing, wasn't it? That was a silly thing to do. Can you not do an animation that says... Yeah, I do that, Deadly. I don't put it on every video, but I do that. I do have a few animations. There's one on the title credits, and I do sometimes put them on in the video, but I don't put too many in because I know actually, weirdly, it's one of those things that if you use it too much, you will actually put people off. So you've kind of got to be careful. What was I doing? I was looking for an allotment picture, wasn't I? Go to my Facebook. Where did I keep up? Why did I put all those pictures? Bugger. Bugger. Right, pictures. How do I get to my profile on this new look Facebook thing? Photos. Albums. I actually don't think I've put anything in the allotment folder on this for a while. I did a lot more seed potatoes. I definitely need more seed potatoes. Yeah, I definitely don't have anywhere near enough seed potatoes compared to what I've grown in previous years. I'll record tomorrow. I'll record. I'll live stream tomorrow as well. Yeah, I think I've decided. When did my chilies go in the greenhouse last year? 24th of April they went in greenhouse last year. I'm definitely ahead of where I was last year. Ah, that picture's the wrong orientation. That's all right. Yeah, that'll do. I'll have that one. We use the picture of me chitin spuds, eh? Actually, last year, King Edward's, Purple Majesty, Desiree, Maris Pia were 4 of the varieties that I grew last year. Apparently, I didn't take a picture of the other tray. Oh, silly me. Silly me. Did I not? Yes, I did. Did I? Or is that the same tray? That's the same tray. Pentland Javelin and International Kidney. They were what I grew last year. So, Photoshop. Let's knock something up. Let's knock something up. Did Ray just disappear? Did he say bye? It's not like Ray to just disappear. I wonder if somebody else has gone live that he wanted to go on to and thought he'd upset me if he just went. And he wouldn't have done. Nobody would upset me if they said, oh, you know, Dean's gone live, I'm going to jump in Dean's thing, because I would, to be fair. I'd say, right, we'll head on over. I'll see you later, Deadly. I might see you tomorrow, mate. I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit, I don't think you want to sit here and see me do a graphic, do you? I mean, if you want me to leave this running, I'll leave it running, but I don't think it's going to make particularly good viewing. And I've got a really itchy nose and it's annoying me, and I don't want to scratch it on film. yeah, so yeah, I think, like I say, unless you particularly want to see me, where's he downloaded these bloody pictures to? Bloody showing folder. Where have you put them? Desktop. Stupid Chrome. That one. Oh, that fits quite nicely. It's just of the. Let's just shift this about a bit. Can we stretch it out a bit without it getting too? Yeah, we can. What happens if we stretch it that much? Does it get a bit too much? No, that still works. Yeah, guys, I'm going to call it. I'm going to knock up this graphic. I'll post it out on Twitter. I'll post it out on my Facebook. Share it if you want. Honestly, don't worry about it. Where was I going with that? Anyway, I'm going to get these graphics done. I'm going to shut the camera off and get these graphics done. I am going to live stream tomorrow from the plot. It will start in the morning. I don't know how long it's going to run for. But I'll just play it by ear. And I'm going to do a video. Sunday's video is going to be about how I do my potato trenches, because I think I'm going to prep the ones that are going in the soil. Because the pots will catch up quite quickly because they're warmer. So yeah, I'm going to do. Actually, I might do both. I'm going to do both. I'm going to put some in pots and some in the ground tomorrow, or at least get my trenches ready tomorrow. So guys, thank you for joining me. Please do remember to think of others in this weird sort of world that we're going through at the moment. You know, if you're fortunate enough to be in a good position, please share your good feel. Scott, I'm just wrapping up. If you're fortunate enough to be in a good position, please help to look after those around you, because I guarantee you many won't. My thoughts are with anybody who is having a difficult time through this troublesome, weird period. I've not really. It's so strange to me that I've not really got my head around anything to say about this thing that we are going through at the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to get some graphics done. Scott, to just give you a quick catch up, I've decided I'm going to go live from the allotment tomorrow. I won't be live sort of in a term where I'll be able to interact so much. I'm just going to set up a camera and I'm just going to broadcast me pottering around the plot for a bit of fun. Exactly. Everybody needs to be thinking of everybody else. Whilst yes, I agree, we need to minimise contact. That doesn't mean you know, pick up the phone if you've got somebody you know who might be lonely in this time. A 10-minute phone call can make a world of difference. And I know I'm not speaking to many people right now, but you know, I don't want to be sort of jumping on a bandwagon at a later date, and I think I need to get off. Otherwise, we're gonna end up in a whole world of emotions. So I'm gonna do the thing for tomorrow's live stream. There is also going to be a video on Sunday, depending on whether you see me recording in tomorrow's live stream. I'm going to let the dog in. I'm going to make a coffee, and I'm going to do a graphic. So I'm going to publish the graphic on my Facebook, on my Twitter, and on my Instagram. I would really appreciate if you would share it around for me, because I'm not going to get time to spread the word as much as I would like. It's all a bit impromptu, so I would be very grateful. So until tomorrow, folks, I'll see you later.